I'm starting to question what I was seeing because I started seeing other things. When I woke up, I found her like sitting right on the mattress, and she was looking up. So she had her fists up like this. So this powder was falling from this side, like it was falling off. That's when it was landing on my cheek. And where she stops, and maybe she falls asleep. And when you look into her face, she will have cuts. Right? And they used to go in three, like 3 lines.
So tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Mpho, and originally from Limpopo, in Venda. That's where I was born and raised. And I moved from there to Joburg here in 2005 to do my high school. Then I matriculated here. I went into varsity where I studied media broadcasting and completed it in 2012. Then I went into the broadcasting world where I worked for various broadcasting companies. And what can I say? Right now, I've just explored a different venture where I'm now a data specialist, data analyst as well. And I'm pursuing another career in law.
Tell us about that one fateful event that happened in your life, the accident leading to meeting the girl.
So I had an accident in late 2017 in December, where I was traveling back from Limpopo to Joburg, where I got into a fatal accident which left 2 of my siblings. They passed away basically in that from that accident. And then the following year, I was also injured. So it was that year where I went into depression, and on the side, I was also still recovering in terms of my physical body, mental wise. I didn't want to do anything basically. And then halfway through that year, I remember a relative of mine, a cousin, that said I needed to come back to Limpopo. There was a church which they wanted me to go to because they felt that whatever that I was going through wasn't normal. And I kept on avoiding them. But eventually around November, I got a chance to go. And then when I went there, this guy was like, no, the pastor, he said, no, I can see your things are not going well. There are some blockages, you need cleansing. So you will need to come back again so that we take you to the river for some cleansing and all those things. So at that time, I was like, okay, I'm around, I'll come back. So we left, and then the following day in the morning, he called and then he said, no, we have a group of people who are going to the river. So I would like you guys to come and join them so that we can just do everything in one go. So I went there, and then that's where I met this girl, because she was part of like the group of people who were going there, and she had her own issues. So yeah.
What did you like about her?
She was a beautiful girl. I mean, when I got there, I looked at her and she looked beautiful, and she was bubbly. She was friendly as well. And when we started talking, we just sort of like clicked because we were joking around with each other and all that.
Okay, now we're gonna lead into the story of what happened, right? So, what strange things started happening when you were in the relationship with the girl?
So after I met her, right, when we both came back to Joburg, she came straight to my place, right, and then we stayed together um, for few months, and then she fell pregnant, right. So when she fell pregnant, that's when I told my parents about it, and then they were like, "No, I think you guys should come and stay with us so that my mother could take care of her and the pregnancy." So when we were there at my parents, there was this one interesting day where my cousin, this is my aunt's son, came to visit us there at my parents' house. And this guy, uh, somehow, that something was just off about him and his visit. And then I remember I was eating, and then after I was done eating, when I went to the kitchen where my mother was washing her plates, he went in. Apparently, he went to the bedrooms there, straight to mine, where my girlfriend was sleeping. But according to her, as he was opening, she was also opening the door. So this guy just said, "Ish, I'm lost. I was going to the bathroom." So he went into the bathroom, then he went out. So she went after, and she wanted to like take a bath. So for some reason, she found some powderish thing in the bathtub, which she came to us and she was like, "This cousin of yours, how is he? Like, because he seemed like he performs like witchcraft and all that." Because this is what she found when she was showing us the powder. So anyway, I think at that point I was like, "Geez, I didn't know all these things about this guy, and here I am. He was very close to me." So after he left, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna distance myself from him. Somewhere, somehow, I think he picked it up. And then I remember when he started sending me SMSs, and then for some reason, he ended up mentioning that he heard from auntie that my girlfriend is pregnant and he's happy for me. And even though I hate him, I must always know that to him, I will always remain a brother. And then after that, I think maybe a week later, he sent another SMS where he was like, "Hey, I heard that your girlfriend is in hospital and she got a miscarriage, right?" And then fast forward the following week, what was said in that SMS happens. Because I remember this one day when in the morning when she was saying to me she hasn't had any kick. And then at that time she was feeling strange, but even though she wasn't like in pain, she suggested that we go to the hospital and check. Then we went to the hospital, and then that's when the nurse was like, "Yo, we can't hear the heartbeat. There's nothing." And then, but when they did the scan, they could see that there's something there. So what they were saying is now it's like they just need to clean and stuff. So that happened, and then we went back. We're still at my parents' place. I remember when it started, like when we were like it was at night actually. We were just about to sleep. This girl didn't want to sleep for some reason. She just wanted to talk, go on and on and on and on. Then um, for some reason, I said to her, "I'm sleeping." Then she got annoyed, and then I think I fell asleep. And then, to my surprise, I'm like sleeping, right? I could feel that there's like something falling into my cheek on the side here, and I thought it was water. But when I woke up, I found her like sitting right on the mattress. Then she was looking up, so she had her fists up like this. So this powder was falling from this side, like it was falling off. That's when it was landing on my cheek. So when I looked at her arm, she had some cuts here. So I'm thinking that okay, maybe because she's going through like the pain of losing the pregnancy and all that. Maybe she cut herself, and then the powder. I thought it was like no, is it Blue Death, the one that you use in a garden? Because there was one. And then, well, after I looked at it again, that powder, it looked exactly as the same powder which I had found in the bathtub at the other time. So from there, when I was trying to talk to her to understand what's going on and all that, for some reason, she started crying there, saying that she's not a witch, all that, and I didn't accuse her of witchcraft or anything like that. So anyway, the following day, I just got an SMS from supposedly from my cousin, because these SMSs will just come from like different numbers. So this SMS, he was saying, you know, I like it when you fight with this girl of yours. It gives me more power and joy. You must fight with her so that she leaves you. You see. So I was like, I don't know, I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, as time went by, there was one like more hectic call, because sometimes I would just get calls in private numbers. So when I answered, the background there would just be animals, noise, and like it's like this person is in the forest. So you'll hear all sorts of noise of animals, right? And then after that, I think on a different week, this guy, I received another SMS saying that they want to take this girl now. Like, as in they want to kill her, like the same way they did with the pregnancy, because the child they took is bothering them and all that. So she needs to come and take care of the kid. So anyway, on that day which they had said they were going to take, I remember very well that SMS said on a Thursday. On the Thursday, I'm sleeping. I could just hear this girl is kicking, screaming. It's like as if she's getting choked. So when I eventually woke up, I could see on her neck here, like there were like some handprints, right, which were like sort of like strangling. And then she said that she was being strangled and all those. But whatever that she was saying, they didn't make sense. Like she was saying there was a person there who was strangling and all that. So anyway, I looked at her arms again. She got cuts. And then from there, because I didn't understand what was going on, you know. So I speak with my father. So my father is like, hey, these things, they very, very strange. We don't understand what's going on. Maybe you should go see someone like a traditional healer or something. So when we went to see this a man, I gave her some stuff to use and all that. So when she started using those things, I remember I'll receive an SMS, and this SMS will be like, hey, you thought those things that you got today from such and such, that guy is a small boy to us. We're going to show you that we mean business. We changed them, so either way, that whatever that she's using is our thing. And just be saying your goodbyes. We will take this girl of yours. And then it will be like that circle. So whatever day that it's specified that this will happen.
So are you saying that you would receive an SMS and then something will happen that night or that day?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm still at that point where I don't know who was sending the SMS. Because in the beginning I thought it's my cousin, right? But the way how certain events started revealing themselves, I'm starting to question what I was seeing because I started seeing other things.
What other things were you seeing?
So okay, I didn't want to pass the stages but
Okay.
So with these girls' cards, right? They got so severe that I could be watching TV with her, and at that point she could be like complaining about a headache. Then where she stops and maybe she falls asleep, and when you look into her face, she will have cuts, right? And they used to go in threes, like three lines. And then if like she has got stomach pains, whenever like they stop, you will see these cuts in her stomach. And I'm pretty sure wherever she is, she has this, her body's messed up because she just had these lines and all that. So when I fast forward, because all those things that were going with SMSs. So there was one time when she eventually said she's pregnant again, right? So now this pregnancy, at the time I had already moved back. We moved back to my place. So this pregnancy was set up in a way that I somehow ended up fighting with my neighbors because of what she was saying, right? So I remember at some point she was accusing my neighbor of sort of like she was saying that the neighbor is being used as someone that watches whatever that is going on in our house. So this neighbor will report back to these people who are sort of like bewitching us and messing up our pregnancies and stuff. So one day she said to me, she was outside and this neighbor was outside. So he saw her, right? So when he saw her, she was saying that because because I'm trying to summarize this whole story. Because of whatever that was going on, right? She sort of like painted a picture that she's being bewitched because she has a calling, right? So in this calling, she will say that she interacts with her late father and her late grandmother. So like the late grandmother is the one who was, I think, a prophet or something like that. Because at some point she will say, no, we just need water and this, then we'll mix it together and then you'll see what will happen, right? So anyway, because of that, she started saying that through her interactions with the father and the grandmother, they told her that this neighbor saw this pregnancy and they told the people that are after us, right, that hey, she looks pregnant, so hey, something must be done, right? So after that, that's when I started receiving SMSs again. So those SMSs, it was another thing to say we're going to take even this pregnancy and all this and all that. So I remember one day, I think I had gone to Limpopo. So when I was there, she starts calling me. She's like, "Hey, this is what's happening. She's having weird pains. It's like she's going into labor." And I remember very well that pregnancy. That pregnancy was not far off. Like it was maybe not even a month yet. Then she starts sending me pictures of like blood and all that. Then that's when I forced myself to come back to Joburg. And at that time, I called some friend of mine that was staying around our area there to go and take her to the doctor. So when the guy arrived there, she refused to go to the doctor with him. She said she's fine. So eventually when I got there, I found like the bedroom was a mess, blood all over the place. And then fast forward that I got those SMSs again saying, we told you whatever pregnancy will just be taken until this girl leaves, right? So fast forward that I remember now it was towards COVID. So towards COVID, this girl tells me that her cousin, some girl, is pregnant, so she needs her help spiritually and all those things because she has that calling. So I wouldn't be with her. So she would be at this cousin's place. Then at some point, I remember when she eventually came back, I would hear a certain name like on the phone call. Like these phone calls would be like very long. Then one day something told me to search this name on Instagram. I searched this name. It's a guy, and then on Instagram he posted like with nice captions and like it's his girlfriend basically. They are dating, and when I look at those posts, they've been dating for a long time, right? And then I didn't say anything. I just took a screenshot of it. Then I went on to check even on Twitter. Then on Twitter it was even worse because even the people there in that circle they liked that relationship because I remember like people would be like, oh, dream or couple goals, whatever, because these were people that they were going on vacations, they were happy, right? So I confronted her, right? So when I confronted her, she said to me, this is her cousin. This guy is going through a breakup. So whatever that he's posting there, he's posting to make his ex-girlfriend jealous. They're not dating. I was like, I have cousins as well. I'll never do that. Never. It just doesn't sit well. But anyway, I just brushed it off. I remember, but I didn't necessarily brush it off. I texted the younger brother, to her. I asked him, who's such and such? And this guy's like, such and such, send me a picture, let me see, Then I sent him the picture. Then he was like, Ish, where I am, I don't have network. Wait till I get to work so that I will use Wi-Fi to be able to download this picture. So when he logged into the into WhatsApp, and when he downloaded the picture, he said, but that was like hours later after I'd asked him. He was like, oh, this guy is a cousin of ours. And he described how he's a cousin to them, but it still didn't sit well with me. But anyway, I took it as whatever they're telling me. Because I remember even at some point when she's not even with me, she said this cousin was pregnant. Please, she made him call me this guy. And this guy is like, hey, I hear that you are complaining about me posting her and all that. And I said to him, I have cousins. I don't post them like that. And I don't think it's even right for you to even call me. And then he went on to say, but we are just cousins. I was like, man, it's okay, whatever that you're saying, it's okay. The truth will come out eventually. And then fast forward that I think we're already in COVID. Somehow she came back because of those restrictions. Now she couldn't like freely move and go back to the pregnant cousin. So we're together for quite some time. Then this time around, she said she's pregnant again, right? So now here's the trick. Because of how my neighbors are with the people that are bewitching us and all those things, she can't be in the house for that long. And at that point, it has gotten so severe that she had said that even getting a call from like my family, like my mother or my sister or my father, it could put everything, that pregnancy, into danger. So I shouldn't talk to them. I should ignore their calls, all those things. And then I was like, oh, okay. And at that point, it was a point where I got to, like, it was as if she was separating me from everyone. And she managed to do that. I was on my own. But it also worked on my favor. So when she was going on like that, she didn't have any excuses now as to this is what's happening to the pregnancy, because at that point I was starting to question even if that pregnancy existed or it didn't. Because at that time I didn't even have the energy to entertain it. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play along. And I didn't even say let's get pregnancy test and all that. Something was just off about it. So with this pregnancy, I remember I even went home, right? Because I was like, you know what? I need to confront my family about this thing. Like, do they know these SMSs? Are they aware that I'm going through this? And funny enough, those people, they were like, we don't know what's going on. And you might accuse us, yes, but we have nothing to do with that, and we will never hurt you like that, you know. So I came back to Joburg again. And at this point, she had gotten that loophole to go back to this cousin who she was taking care of. But at that point, she was there because of the safety of the pregnancy. But for some reason, she said because I had answered my father's call, now somehow they got hold of the pregnancy, so they could do something to her pregnancy. So she said her father and the grandmother is saying that she must be very, very far from me, right? So she was at this cousin of hers, and then she said those people are busy fighting, they are protecting her, but they're not promising that they will win this war, because whatever that is being used is too strong. Then eventually, I remember on a random day, like on 4 a.m. or so, I started receiving those calls again, like in private numbers, but I didn't answer. She tells me that she gave birth in Helen Joseph Hospital, and there they needed size 1 or 0. I don't remember exactly what size she had said, but she said some ridiculous size, and it has to be like very small. So anyway, she wanted me to buy those or give her money and all that. So funny enough, when she was saying all these things, a friend of mine was around whom his mother is a nurse. So he tends to know other nurses because he goes and attends these meetings and all those things. So I tell him, I even said to him, do you hear what they are asking for? So when you leave here, you must pass by the shop and look for this size for You see, and he laughs and all that. So fast forward, I think maybe 3 or 4 days later, he calls me. And then he says to me, "Hey man, I'm with this guy here. He's a nurse. He works at Ellen Joseph. Listen to what he's saying, right?" And I speak to this guy. This guy says, man, I hear your girl gave birth in Ellen Joseph." I said, "Yeah, that's what she's claiming." Then he says, "In Ellen Joseph, we don't have maternity ward. Ask her again to just find out which hospital. But whatever that you're telling me, there's no one gives birth at that stage or whatever trimester he said it was." So anyway, I said to him, "You'll never know, man, because I'm going through weird stuff here." So anyway, I just left it like that, and I didn't even say anything. So I remember at that time, because it's like it was COVID and stuff, I said to her, when are you taking me to see my child?" She's like, "No, you can't just go there because of the COVID restrictions. And even with her, they have to call her first if they need anything. She can't just go because of those restrictions." I said, "Oh, but I don't think it's fair." So I said to her, "I will ask about these things." So I called this half brother of mine. He works in hospitals, but he was in the hospital in Mpho. So I just asked him so I can record him, so I can play it to her. I said to him, "My man, tell me something here. Let's say my woman gave birth to an hospital and the child is hospitalized. Am I not allowed to go and visit?" And he said, no, that one you are allowed to. It's only like the distant relatives who are like very far that are not allowed because of those laws. And I said, okay, cool. Then he started asking me questions like, you once said this girl of yours is a pharmacist, right? I said, that's what she's claiming. It's like, give me a name or an ID, because he had access to that database. He searched using a ID. He searched using a names and surnames. He couldn't find it. So I went back to her, and at this point, I said to her, "Tell me something here. Which hospital did you give birth to?" She's like, "Ellen Joseph, I told you." I'm like, "Did they give you some paperwork, Nyana? Like, what's going on?" It's like, no, I don't have anything. But what she had, she sent me a picture of like a slip or some sort. But I don't think it's linked to the hospital. But anyway, I said to her, I spoke to people from Ellen Joseph, and those people are saying they don't have maternity ward. And I spoke to your brother as well. Your brother doesn't know such and such whom you are claiming that is your cousin. And he's saying you didn't even go to varsity, you only have grade 10 of which you didn't pass. Like, I said to her, "Who are you?" Like, at that point, I realized that I was with someone that I don't even know. You see, I was with a stranger. So she starts like lying. And then I said to her, at this point, I think it's better that you just come back, take your things, and then you leave. Because you have wasted so many of my time. You have impacted me in a bad way, because when I got there, I was going through depression, and the events that happened sort of like made my depression worse. So I was tired, like I didn't have the energy. So fine. I remember one day, some friend of mine, like, who had also distanced himself, but for some reason that day he called me. It's like, "Hey, I'm coming to fetch you there. I just want to buy you some drinks." So he came, went to his house. So when I was at this guy's house, this girl calls me. So I'm like, "No, I don't want to talk to her." Then some number called me. I'm not even going to answer. So it turns out that it was like police number, the second number. So she decided to come to my place with cops there. I don't know for what reason. I don't know whether she thought I'm going to kill her or something because of her lies. And I found out the truth. But anyway, those guys sent me a text to say, no, we are the police. We were with your girl here. She was here to fetch her things. Then something told me to go to the house. When I went to the house, I discovered that because I had already packed the things into like those black plastic bags, I discovered that she decided to go there and pack my things. She took my clothes and other stuff. Like she wiped me out. And then at that point, I'm like, what do I do? Because at this point, I don't even know where she stays. I don't know who she, like, even the people that are her mutuals, they don't even know her like that because this is a person that uses a fake name. Even on social media, I can't even tell you who she is because she uses fake names as well. Whatever that she does is fake, you see.